Welcome back, guys. We are here for our Week 10 news episode, and let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into talking about what happened last game out. So, again, another huge, big W for us, coming off the back of that Thursday Night Football blowout against the Eagles. We went against the Giants, another one of the NFC East members, and we dominated, honestly. It's a shame they were even in this game. The only reason they were was because of our mistakes, but we have to give them the credit for capitalizing on them at the very least. So if we go through the stats real quick, offensive yards game, we blew them out of the water, 350 to 250. Offensive rushing yards, that's where we got our big 100 on them, 160 to 63. Passing yards, we had 189. A solid day for Davis Mills. I'm not going to complain about that. An extra 10 offensive first downs. Punt returns are nothing pretty much. Kick returns, we again don't let them get any kick return yards, so we love to see that. Total yards gained, just huge blowout over them. Turnovers, 2 to 3. We got some key turnovers for us, but we gave them 3. We can't be doing that. We want to succeed against better teams, but we'll take the W nonetheless. 10 third down conversions to their 3. We don't have to worry about fourth down this week. And yeah, just a pretty great game. And yes, we dominated them in time possession. That's what a good run game will do for you. If we take a look at the box score quarter by quarter, obviously we got out early, a touchdown lead on the first drive. They responded back in very early in the second quarter with a field goal of their own. Then they got a pick 6 to get them 10 points, but we got a touchdown late in the second quarter to keep us in striking distance of this game. Then we started the third quarter. They got a touchdown, we got a field goal, and then we put up 2 straight on them, and that is how we close out a game. The final score for this one was 31 to 17. Second straight W for us. And let's get into the player-specific stats. So talking about the passing game first, Daniel Jones had 217 yards, 2 interceptions on the day, no touchdowns. That was a huge play by us, not letting him get any success through the air. He's not good enough for that, so we can't let him do that. Davis Mills, 203 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick. It was a bad pick, but he did a great job managing throughout the day, so I'm not going to be too mad at him about this performance. Rushing, Dameon Pierce continues to be great. 22 rushes for 122 yards, 5.5 carry, a touchdown on the day, 4 broken tackles. His longest run went for 16, so nothing too crazy, but he continues to be a consistent dominator day in, day out. Saquon Barkley for them, he was solid. 13 for 66, 5.1 a carry. He had a touchdown on the day, and his longest run went for 29. It was a huge one. They needed it when they got it, but it was not enough for them. Marlon Mack for us was the backup, 8 for 28, 3.5 a carry. Andy Janovich, 2 for 6. He was clutch there. And Davis Mills had 3 scrambles for 4 yards. One of them was a fumble, so we're not going to talk about that. But besides that, we'll keep moving. Receiving, Kez Watkins continues to be great. 5 for 75, 15 yards a catch. We kept capitalizing on the fact that they could not cover a zone area in between the 2 zones on the same play. They had to open the whole day. We took advantage of it because they didn't adjust for it. And Kez Watkins, a thorn in the side for them. When he was on the Eagles, he continues to be a thorn in the side for them as he plays for us now. Great game by him. Ricky Seals-Jones, he had 2 big catches late on the final drive when they were just hoping to have the smallest chance possible to be able to come back. They couldn't capitalize, but he did good to get his time in there. Jared Cook at 5 for 44, 8.8 carry. Sterling Shepard, 3 for 43. Nico Collins, he had only 1 catch on the day, but it was a huge grab to move us down the field very quickly, 33-yard grab. We'll take that every day. John Mechie III, 3 for 31, 10.3 a catch. Kadarius Toney, 3 for 30. Brevin Jordan, 3 for 30. Kenny Golladay, 3 for 23. Kyle Rudolph, 2 for 21. And then a lot of just 1 catches, but a very solid day. A lot of chunk plays through the air, I will say that. But I think we still got the upper hand on this department. For blocking on the day, pretty solid. We took over, got it. For blocking on the day, honestly, pretty solid. We got the better hand of Andrew Thomas twice on the day, giving up 2 sacks on by him. Titus Howard for us, the right tackle, he let up 1, but only 1, I'll take it. Defensive, this is what we need to talk about. We made some poor mistakes, let them capitalize on them, and we will see that, but we also stood out in defense. So, leading tackles on the day was Blake Martinez, the middle linebacker for them, with 12 on the day. 2 solo, 10 assisted. He was just in there for every single play. Some other high tackle guys were Terrell Burgess, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Jalen Petre, Dexter Lawrence, Xavier McKinney. We love to see stuff like that. Let's go over tackles for loss because this was huge. Jerry Hughes was dominating. He had 3 on the day. Kayvon Thibodeau had 2 big ones. CJ had 1, Jalen Petre had 1, Dexter Lawrence, Eric Murray, Adoree Jackson, and Daquan Jones. For sacks on the day, 2 for the man, Jerry Hughes. We love to see that from the vet, contributing even late into his career. Jalen Petre had a big sack. 2.9 seconds is all it took to get to the sack. That was huge. And then we had shared sack from Kayvon Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence. We all saw that one. Interception, Xavier McKinney. We gave him a full field pick 6 off such a bad ball. I couldn't believe it. So that is, but surprisingly, not one of 3 pick sixes, because we give away a sloppy ball and we came back very shortly after, and Derek Stingley Jr. decided to make some plays. He got an interception of his own, ran it back for a pick 6, and the big one we need to talk about, Jerome Baker. He hasn't been on our team very long, but you know what? We brought him in. He tried to jump a ball earlier in the same drive that we're talking about here, and he whiffed on it. He jumped it off the mark, bad timing, missed it. They got big yardage. He comes back 2 plays later. He knocks the ball up in the air. Rasheem Green can't get it, but he pops it back up. Jerome Baker puts it in his hands. He runs full field downfield for the 3rd pick 6 of the day, 2nd one for us. And it was just a huge display by us. If we look at this, some big yardage. Xavier McKinney went for 91. That was brutal. Jerome Baker went for 65. Derek Stingley went for 45. So an amazing day by defensive contributions. Deflections, you know we have a ton of them, as always. Forced fumbles. That's how we iced the game as well. Derek Stingley Jr., vet move to take him on the end zone, punch that ball out, and get us the ball back late. Terrell Burgess had the forced fumble. I believe that was probably on Davis Mills. I don't know. We had 2 more from Kayvon Thibodeau and Davion Taylor. Fumble recoveries, though. We need to talk about that. Christian Kirksey picked up 1. Chris Harris Jr. picked up 1. Desmond King picked up 1. And Azeez Ojulari picked up 1. And now let's take a look around the league for Week 10 and see some of the key matchups that happened. Let's talk about Jaguars-Chiefs. When we checked on them at halftime, it was a very close game. Jacksonville at halftime, let's see, it was about, let's see if I can do this math correctly, 14-16 at half. Great game by them, but Kansas City, you can't give them any hope. They came back late, 36-24 W for them. And if I had to guess, it was just a knockout, drag-out game. And Kansas City probably just made more big plays late down the stretch. If you look at the player stats, that's probably important. 374 yards, 2 touchdowns for Patrick Mahomes. Trevor Lawrence, 338, 2 touchdowns. I'm assuming maybe it was a run game? No. Maybe they just had some big turnovers late. I don't know, but obviously we all know Kansas City, you can't take them for granted no matter how poor of a start they've had to the year. Let's talk about Broncos-Titans. Titans, another one of our division rivals. Titans dominated early and they never let up. They had 14 points in the first, 21 points in the second, and they just closed it out for 42 points on the day. Huge game. They had a monster 184 yards on the ground, 192 yards through the air. If I had to guess, this is probably just complete domination. These numbers probably look closer than they are because obviously Broncos drove a lot late to try and come back. Ryan Tannehill, 3 passing touchdowns on the day with only 192 yards. Russell Wilson, 311 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. He was sacked 5 times. Don't know if we saw that. Derrick Henry, 112 for 1 touchdown. Hassan Haskins, had 50 for 1. And then the other running touchdown, Ryan Tannehill had 1 on the ground as well. Receiving, Tim Patrick, 6 for 166 and 2 touchdowns. He continues to be big for the Broncos. Byron Pringle had a touchdown. Robert Woods had a touchdown. Jerry Jeudy and Austin Hooper had a touchdown. And if we look at the last of our division rivals, the Indianapolis Colts dominated 34-0 against the Las Vegas Raiders. Shut them out completely on defense, dominated on offense. I don't even want to take a lot of time to look at this because this just scares any hope at our division crown chances here today. And even worse, Matt Ryan had no touchdowns in the air. Rushing, Jonathan Taylor had 2 on the day. Matt Ryan scrambled and 1. And if we look, this must mean defense got so many scores today. If we look touchdowns, and for the first time on the year, we are going to go take a look at the weekly awards because our man, Derek Stingley Jr. was the AFC Defensive Player of the Year for Week 10 with 2 tackles and that pick 6 and the forced fumble. Yes. Incredible day by him. And way to get on the board for Player of the Week as a rookie. That is huge. He continues to get better and better week in and week out. We hope he can be the future of this team. And rumblings in the locker room are telling me we have a breakout linebacker chance. Jerome Baker said, "Coach, I got to commend you on the game plan last week. The front seven absolutely dominated their blockers, and it was one of the best performances I've ever had. If I can put together another game like that against the Commanders, they'll go a long way toward establishing me as a leader on this team. So we set a goal for him. Let's hold the Commanders to less than 250 yards, or let's get him, Jerome Baker himself, an interception, a forced fumble, tackle for loss, or a sack. If he can get those, we'll be in a pretty good spot. So I love the energy, I love the passion, I love that he wants to go for it, and I'm all about it. That's why we traded for him. We saw potential in him, and we're going to go straight for it. Let's focus on who we do have first before we talk about anything else. Let's go back into the player renegotiations, and let's see what we have on the board this week. Terrence Brooks, free safety, 30 years old. He's got a lot of interest in us. Maybe we can get him for cheap. Let's go for it. Previous offer, we gave him 1 year, 1.6. You know what? Let's run up the cap a little bit. I don't think we're like focused on signing any big free agents this year. So let's put that on there. I've got my interest and my financials in mind. The situation doesn't align on either. Okay, that's fine. We can keep working with him. So we'll move that to next week. Royce Freeman. Interesting, very interesting. So he's a backup running back, 26 years old. Really doesn't have a spot on this team. He is our backup power back, but I think there's plenty of them in the market. And he's asking for 3 years, $5.82 million. He wants almost a $3 million signing bonus. I think we're gonna let him walk. Don't worry about that. Sorry, Royce Freeman, I appreciate your time, but I think we can find something else. So now's the time of year where we've gotten a lot of the big scouting done. A lot of the top guys are already scouted out. Like if we go take a look at, if we can move this to the top of the board, let's keep it moving. A lot of the number one guys that we have had our focus on, like number one quarterback Jason St. Lou, he's at 100% already. So this time of year where we are going for player focus specific scouting. And for that, we're going to scout out some of the guys that we have some interest in, but might not be for our future, but they might be if they pique our interest enough. We're going to go with Randy Kerr first off. He's only 50% completed. Better to get a good idea on him. And then we all know one of the main struggles of our team is linebackers. We're going to focus on the left outside linebackers. Get the top two, Jeff Ellison and Devontae Dobson, on our board. Let's confirm that, get some extra focus on them, and see if we can get more information, see if they pique our interest enough to go for them. Just a double quick checkup on our yearly awards. We got to go through these real fast. So let's see. MVP race, none of our guys are on that list. I don't expect him to be coach of the year. Lovie Smith in at number 4. He's had a great bounce back season with some young guys. He should definitely be up there, definitely be recognized for his work. We'll hop over to the AFC. Offensive Player of the Year. We have any guys in there? No, but I didn't think we would. Defensive Player of the Year. We should have a few in here maybe? No, but our Rookie of the Year battle. Damian Pearson at number 1. John Mechie in at number 2. We love to see that. Both of our rookies at the top of the board there. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Derek Staley in at number 3. Jalen Petre in at number 4. Incredible work by our rookies to get all over the board here. Best QB? No, I highly doubt it. Running back. We should be at the somewhere in here. Damian Pierce at number 6. We'd love to see that. Best wide receiver? No, I didn't think so. Best O-line. Do we have anybody? Laramie Tunsil in at number 7. We'd love to see that. Defensive line? No. Okay, that's fine. Best linebacker. For best defensive back, we still have CJ in there at number 7. We'd love to see that. And Chris Harrison at number 10. Don't know if we saw that. Best kicker? Kai Fairburn, top of the list. We'd love to see that. And that rounds off the yearly awards. And with all of that out of the way, we can finally look ahead to our next week, in which we are heading back home, but we are taking on the Washington Commanders. So let's see what the injury report's looking like. For us, obviously still no injuries, so we will take that every day of the week. And for the Commanders, theirs is loaded up. This might be a huge opportunity for us. We hate to see it, but let's talk about what they got here. They have one of their tight ends, Logan Thomas. He has a quad tear. He's out for another 4 weeks, so we won't see him today. And one of their receivers, Cam Sims, has a PCL sprain. Another PCL sprain for one of their corners, Benjamin St. Just. Anthony Barr, the linebacker, ACL sprain. That's a huge blow for them. He might be a little past his prime, but still big for them. And then a backup linebacker, Derek Tuska, is out with a broken finger, but that's a lot of hits to linebacker position, a lot of hits all over the field, really. So hopefully that works in our favor. But let's talk about who we will see on the field coming up this week. For the Commanders, leading him at that quarterback is the former MVP runner-up, the former Philadelphia Eagle, fallen from grace, Carson Wentz. He hasn't been great, honestly, for them, but hopefully he can bounce back. If not, they got Taylor Heineke backing them up. At the running back position, they have Antonio Gibson leading the way, backed up by J.D. McKissick. At fullback position, they have Alex Arma Jr. At the wide receiver position, obviously, Terry McLaurin is leading the way for them. They also have Jahan Dotson, a rookie, Curtis Samuel, De'Ami Brown, and Kevin Harmon. At the tight end position, they now have John Bates leading the way with their man out, Logan Thomas. He's backed up by Cole Turner. At the left tackle position, I'm going to run through these: Charles Leno Jr., Andrew Norwell at the left guard, center Chase Roulier, Trey Turner at the right guard, and right tackle is Sam Cosmi. On the defensive side of the ball, obviously defensive end standout Chase Young leads the way for them. Montez Sweat goes off the right side. Defensive tackle Jonathan Allen, he has been huge for them. He's backed up by Deron Payne, and they also have Fedarian Mathis in that rotation there. For the left outside linebacker, it's going to be KJ Wright leading the way, backed up by Leon Jacobs. In the middle, they're going to have Jamin Davis and Kalike Hudson holding it down over there. For the right outside linebacker, it looks like Leon Jacobs is going to be moving over to help out because they have both of their right outside linebackers on the roster, both out on those injuries that we talked about earlier. That's going to be a big hit for them. For corners, Kendall Fuller leads the way. He's their ace for them. Pretty solid guy for them. William Jackson is the number 2. AJ Bouye, number 3. Cameron Sutton. So it's a pretty solid defensive backs. I can't even hate on that. So we might have to move away from the passing game today. Free safety, Bobby McCain covers that. And strong safety, Cameron Curl is their number 1 there. For kicker, they have Joey Sly. And for punter, they have Tress Way. And now let's talk about how we're going to be stopping them, or hopefully stopping them, I should say. We're going to go with defending the outside run. I'm not really sure how to work with what they have going on. They don't have a lot of offensive standouts, and they have a lot of injuries on the offense. We do have to worry about Scary Terry, but I think one of our big things should be trying to shut down the run, because that can get ahead of us really fast. So we're going to defend the outside run. They've done very well on that this year. If we head over to the other side of the ball, attacking their defense, really, they want us to throw it deep. I'm not sure I am down for that. Blitzing, they don't blitz very often, so I wouldn't go for that. I think we have to stick to our guns. Ooh, we should talk about their defensive line. It's kind of a monster. Let's go throw it medium. I'm fine with that. Let's attack the linebackers. They have a lot of injuries in that department. We still can go to the run, obviously, and we don't have to worry about taking a hit. The pocket should hold up a little bit better. And yeah, so all that is that. And let's talk about how our man Lovie Smith has put in a little bit more time and readjusted his schedule, and now he can fit even more of these young guys into his schedule. So right now, his focus guys for us are Derek Stingley, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Jalen Petre, and for the offense, Damian Pierce and John Mechie. So a lot of time being brought into them. Let's talk about the weekly game plans and those goals for the week. Lovie Smith has said he wants us to win the turnover battle. Pretty simple. You know, when you win the turnover battle, you have a really good chance of winning the game. Our offensive coordinator said 250 plus offensive yards. Should be able to do it. We outblew that out of the water last time out. Obviously, we are playing a bit of a tougher defense, but we should be able to get it done. Defensive coordinator, allow 20 points or less. Pretty solid. We can keep under that. 3 touchdowns. We should be able to get that, win the game. And I've said, let's allow 2 or less passing touchdowns. Carson Wentz isn't all that nowadays. We all know that. The only thing we have to worry about is Scary Terry. If we can hold him down pretty solidly, we should have a good chance at this game. So yeah, we have just finished up our training for the week. No injuries to speak of. We'd love to hear that. But we do have some key upgrades that we saw this week, and let's take some time to talk about them. Laramie Tunsil continues to get even better. We saw improvements in specifically his pass protector skill set that involved his pass block and his power pass block, so we'd love to see that. Jerome Baker, after last week's incredible performance and a great training session, he got better in awareness, man coverage, tackling, and his zone coverage. Growth all around. We'd love to see that from our main linebacker that we traded for. Derek Stingley Jr. also had a great game with that pick six. We saw improvements in his awareness, play rec, and zone coverage, all key skills to keep growing with as a young rookie corner. And just some other players of focus, Nico Collins and Brevin Jordan also saw some key upgrades this week. So with all that said and done, game plans are set, administrative is done. I think that's everything we need to talk about. And that means we are going to be heading into another game in which this is a key game. The 7-3 Washington Commanders. Sounds like the NFC. Let's take a look at it right now. The NFC East seems as though it has been hyper competitive. Where am I looking? I'm looking for division standings. Hello, give me division standings. Oh, we can take a look at our division probably while we're here, but let's look at the NFC East because they've been hyper competitive. Washington Commanders lead the way 7-3. Eagles are 6-3 because they had a bye. 5-4 Cowboys, 5-4 Giants. That's a hyper incredible division. We have a bit of an easier route for us in the AFC South, but we do have to combat the Colts, who are second in the AFC right now with an 8-2 record. That one of those losses to us, so you have to keep that in mind. But we're right behind them at 5-3-1. 2 big weeks where we win, they lose could be huge for us, and we face them at the end of the year, so we do have to keep that in mind. We have a big gap between us and the Titans, the Jaguars, though, so we can live with that. But after everything, that means we are set, we are ready. I will see you guys back next week as we take on the Washington Commanders at home. I hope you guys are excited. I'll catch you guys then.